Hey, what's up, everybody? Look, we are going to be doing another video talking about the best oversold stock opportunities that we are seeing in our data. Now, look, you can look at and listen to all of the headlines that are going on, and people are worried about inflation, they're worried about interest rates, they're worried about Fed tapering. How on earth is an investor able to make sense of all of that noise? I know that I can't. So what I have been able to do is focus on the data. And that is what we're going to be doing today. There's a lot of stocks that are getting sold into oblivion. We're going to look at some really cool charts that are going to make sense of a lot of the noise that's going on in the market. Hey, I'm Luke Downey. I'm co-founder of MapSignals.com. A long time ago, we decided not to follow the news, but to follow the big money. And that's because the big money can often alert you to some of the best stock opportunities out there. So if you like this type of unique content, give us some love, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're doing this stuff for free. We just want to make you guys a better investor. So with that out of the way, look, if you're long stocks, just about everything is getting hit, especially anything with the growth component. But ultimately, when a big sell-off happens, whether it's sector-wide or whether it's market-wide, it drags down not only crappy stocks, but also good stocks. So what we're going to do today is we are going to take a journey through some really cool data that's going to make sense of what's really going on in the market. And then we are going to zero in on 5 stocks that are seeing some immense selling that I think is overdone. All right, let's get to it. Whoa, now we're in this cool portal. What do? Well, let's go through it together. So from the top level of the market, we want to see where the big money is heading, right? Where's the buying and the selling, okay? Is buying coming into the market or is selling coming into the market? Well, the big money index helps us see the trend of what's actually going on under the surface. So you got the S&P 500, that's the blue in the back, right? And then this light blue, the electric blue, is the big money index. So look, if the big money index is going up, that means more stocks are getting bought. If the big money index starts to fall, that means that selling is starting to pick up. And so what do we see right now? We start to see the BMI is starting to fall. And you can see that that's actually happening in conjunction with the S&P 500. This is SPY ETF. But Luke, what about, I'm seeing a lot more selling. Well, let's go ahead and look a little bit deeper and actually see the daily buys and sells. And this is where it gets really interesting. So like the BMI, this is just looking at a day-by-day basis. Big blues, that means stocks are getting bought. Big reds, that means stocks are getting sold. But what's really interesting and useful about this chart is we can see that when there's big selling, oftentimes the market gets oversold and we get a near-term bounce. You've seen it here, you've seen it here, you saw it here. And then now we are in this rotational tug of war. Believe it or not, there's a lot of stocks getting bought. I'm going to film my next video right after this one, showcasing some of the stocks that are actually getting bought right now, because believe me, it's not all death and destruction. So check that one out. But for this one, I want to just focus on the stocks that are getting near oversold levels. So this is what's going on under the surface. Let's take it one step further and actually see where the pain points are. And I'm going to save you guys some time because we're going to just look at 2 sectors that are in the crosshairs of big selling. Now, look, this is the healthcare sector. It's the same type of chart that we saw earlier. We're just looking at healthcare stocks, buys and sells. Same patterns emerge. When you get big selling, and we just had humongous selling, you start to see that we get oversold, and then eventually buyers start to show themselves. Where's the other area? I know you guys know what's getting hit hard. It is technology. So again, what do we see? We're seeing a lot of the same types of signals, big selling here, also here. And yesterday, tech market, NASDAQ was down 2.5%. A lot of that was primarily in healthcare, which we just went over, but some of it is also in technology stocks. All right, so now that we've taken the temperature of the market, we see that there's a lot of rotational action going on. We want to go in and see what are some of the stocks that are seeing some of the most selling, but it's on quality stocks. Okay, we're going to go under the hood right now, look at some really unique charts. And whenever we see great stocks coming under pressure, we are going to hammer it home when we see opportunity. Let's go ahead and get into that. So here we are again, we're back into the portal, and now we're gonna actually start mapping stocks. So the number 5 oversold stock is none other than Roku. Now look, you guys may know Roku. I know it, my kids know it. You know, when we're watching online, you know, whether it's Netflix, HBO, we're using a Roku device. It's been a fast growing name. And look, let's just go over the chart real quick. So this is a 1-year chart of Roku, and you're seeing some greens and some red. Luke, what's that all about? Well, that is the buys and sells that we are looking at for the institutional flows going in and out of Roku. And what's interesting and why it is the number 5 oversold stock is look at all of the sell signals. I mean, if we just zero in and we go in since November, right? And this is right after the market just went, you know, haywire, we can see that it has been relentless selling. So is this stock oversold just by looking at sell signals? It is. Now let's just take this stock on its face and then look under the hood and see if this is a fundamentally sound stock. So I'm going to come down here, and we actually have a ranking process, which I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, but basically if Roku ever makes a blue signal, that means that it saw big money buying, right? Buying in the shares, but also it was a quality stock. So we have a ranking process that looks and says, hey, the fundamental score right now for Roku is 58%. It's not all that bad, but let's go ahead and actually look at some of the numbers real quick. So we know the stock has been sold just multiple times, but let's actually look under the hood. So Roku, just really quick, the share price is $168. The market cap is just over 22 billion, so it's not too terribly small. But for 1 month, and why it's getting oversold, the stock is down 24%. That's huge. 12 sell signals since November. But was this a quality stock historically? It was, because it made that top 20 list 5 times going back to 2014. That's when we got in business. But more importantly, what's the 1-year EBITDA growth? Now that's earnings before interest, tax deductions, all of that stuff. It's actually positive at about 19% growth. The 1-year revenue growth is about 60%. Now, if you had to knock this name on something, it's going to be the forward PE, right? So high PEs right now are getting hurt in this marketplace. But if we take it all together, the stock's getting just crushed. 2 very important fundamental characteristics make this stock look attractive. And for that, I'm going to hammer. Roku is an oversold opportunity. All right, now let's go ahead and look at our number 4 stock that is absolutely oversold. That is none other than Alibaba. And look at the 1-year chart. I mean, this stock has been sold into oblivion. But what's really awesome about it, this Chinese stock, right? They're basically like the Amazon of China, if you will. It's starting to make a base. Now, full disclosure, I own this stock in managed accounts, but we got to ask ourselves, is this stock worthy of our attention? Let's go ahead and look under the hood. Now, you remember those blue signals? Yeah, there haven't been any recently, but if we go back a long time, that is the stairway to heaven. That lets us know that this used to be a quality stock. Let's even go down a little bit further. Look at the fundamental score, 79%. That is a monster score, but let's keep looking under the hood. So again, look, it's a Chinese name. It's been getting sold into oblivion. Since November, there's been 6 sell signals. Now, this is not a small stock. It's a $352 billion company, but look at the share price, 131 bucks. This was well over 200 months ago. For 1 month, the stock is actually up 7.5%. That's actually relatively positive. But look how many times it made those blue signals, that top 20 list. 38 stinking times. That means that this is a quality stock. And you look at that 1-year EBITDA growth, 17%. The 1-year revenue growth, 44%. And the forward PE at 16 times. I mean, hit yourself over the head with the hammer, because this one looks oversold to me. Let's keep going. Now let's go ahead and shift our focus to the retail space, and we're going to be looking at Restoration Hardware, which they actually changed their name to RH. But I mean, this is one of these really high quality, household names. They just have all these great consumer goods. But what do you see here? And why is it making the oversold list, the number 3? Because look at all of the selling. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that, because sometimes you got to see it to believe it. I mean, this stock used to be over $650. Now it's at $450. Is this thing oversold? You bet it is. But let's keep looking under the hood. I remember I held this stock years ago, let go of it. I'm upset that I did, because you can see this stock has been a big time money magnet. And that is what these blue signals are. It indicates that it is a powerful, healthy company. We can look at the fundamental score here of 62.5. Look at the technical, 17%. Man, this thing is oversold, but let's look under the hood one more time. Just remember, opportunity rarely looks beautiful. Sometimes it is in a sea of red where you find some of your best stocks. So look, RH, the share price is $456. The market cap is just under 10 billion. That makes it relatively small, but for 1 month, the stock is down 20%. Now we know why, because it got 5 of those sell signals. That means this stock is getting oversold. We know that it's a quality stock because it made our top 20 list 14 times in the past. But look at the 1-year EBITDA growth, just over 10%. The 1-year revenue growth, just over 7%. The forward PE of 18. Look, there's a lot of stocks that are going down. Very few of them have a picture like this. I'm going to hit that hammer one more time. Let's go ahead. For this one, we're going to be going to a very popular name. This was a stay-at-home name, Zoom. And when we talk about getting sold, this is a name that has just been sold to oblivion. You guys know Zoom. It is technology that allows you to connect and do video conferencing. But the stock was a darling last year. Now it has come under pressure immensely. And if we just zoom in on this name, no pun intended, you can see exactly what's been going on. Sell signal here, sell signal here, here, here. Is it oversold? You betcha. But let's look under the hood at why this is a potentially great name. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, no pun intended, and look back to when the pandemic started. You can see that this name was flying higher with some really strong fundamentals. I ended up buying some a while back in managed accounts just because I think this is a great name. But let's keep looking under here. You can see a 79% fundamental score. Is this stock oversold? You bet it is. But let's look at some of those real numbers. Look, Zoom used to be way higher than where it is today. Look, it's a $162 stock. The market cap is 48 billion. This thing is starting to get to a value level. I mean, if they get any type of growth metric to show up, this stock could explode a lot higher. On 1 month, it's down 12%. And look, there's 7 sell signals along that way. I'm telling you, this stock, it's oversold. And you know that it's a quality stock because it was a top 20 stock 8 times historically. You can see that the 1-year EBITDA growth is positive at just over 6%. But look at the 1-year revenue growth, 325%. The forward PE, if you can believe it, for this growth stock is only 34. If they continue to grow, this PE is going to continue to contract. Wow, I got to hit the hammer on this one. All right, let's get to our final oversold stock right now. And the number 1 oversold stock is none other than Etsy. And Etsy is such a great company. They have, it's like you want to buy a gift for someone during the holidays and you want to have that special touch, you go to Etsy.com. I know I bought a lot of their products and I have been so happy. But if we look at the stock, you can see that earlier in the year, a lot of big money was going into the stock. It was getting bought. And then this whole growth scare came, and what do you see? Just the stairway to hell, effectively. I mean, this stock has been getting sold to oblivion. Let's zero in on that. Look at this. Buying, buying, buying. And that's what you notice in our data. A lot of buying, it just keeps elevating the stock. But then whenever those sellers come in, the bears come to town, you can see that selling just gets accelerated. Now, if we look under the hood at Etsy, we can see that it's got these blue signals, which tells you recently this was a high quality stock. If we keep going back even further, we can see the stairway to heaven. This is a quality name that is just getting sold. And if we look, what is the fundamental score? 71%. That's a monster, but let's keep looking under the hood. And let's look, it's Etsy, right? It's a $167 stock. The market cap is $21 billion. In 1 month, it's down 24%, if you can believe that. And that's due to 6 sell signals, okay? The stock is oversold, but it made our top 20 list 16 times, okay? That tells you it's quality. The 1-year EBITDA growth, 16.2%, and the 1-year revenue growth is about 111%. That is very strong for this name. And then you can look at the forward PE at 55. So it's still expensive, but I still think that this is an oversold stock with a lot of opportunity in the years ahead. For that, it gets that hammer. Let's go ahead and wrap up really quickly. So guys, as we round it out, we've got 5 oversold stocks with Roku, Baba, Restoration Hardware, Zoom Communications, and obviously Etsy. I think these are high quality names that are clearly getting sold. When the market starts to stabilize, these names really could re-rate a lot higher. So guys, as a reminder, make sure to like and subscribe if you like this unique content. These are your best oversold opportunities that we are seeing in our data. Just always remember to look under the hood when a stock is getting unfairly sold. Sometimes there is opportunity. Look for revenue growth, look for earnings growth, and oftentimes you'll be able to find the next stock ready to explode higher. I'll see you guys next time.